Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at section 3.3 on solving linear inequalities. So before we get started, the most important thing for you to remember when you're solving an inequality that's different from when you're solving an equation, and we've talked about this in class, but I need to start with it. When you divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, you have to flip the sign, or you reverse it, however you all want to say it. That's the big difference. Okay, the first question you can see is pretty easy. Is x equals 2 a solution of this inequality? They're not asking us to solve it, they're just asking us to plug in. So every place we see an x, I'm substituting in a 2. And then I'm doing the arithmetic. Remember, when you're multiplying fractions together, u goes into, so the 2's cancel, leaving me with 3. 3 minus a half is 2.5, even without getting a common denominator. Let's not mess with that. 3 cakes minus a half that you've eaten is 2.5 cakes. Done. 1 minus 2 is a -1. Is 2.5 greater than or equal to -1? Yes, it is. It's true. Therefore, 2 is a solution. Now, this is really just kind of a stupid starting problem, because really, I'm not interested in just giving you random numbers one at a time and asking you, does it work? But what's this? This is reminding you that a solution is something that makes it true. So the answer is yes. Now we're on to a real question. Here's an inequality. Because it doesn't have an equal sign, it has a less than sign. So you know what to do. Just like an equation, you're going to distribute. This is a pretty easy distribution, 6 minus 4x. This is where you could mess up if you're not careful. That minus in front is implying a -1, so you need to distribute a -1. -1 times 1 is -1. -1 times the opposite of x is a positive x. On this side, you have that same invisible -1 in front of the parens. Leave the 4x alone, distribute the negative. -1, -1 times x is the opposite of x. Move down just like you would for an equation. This side can be simplified. You combine like terms by making it the opposite of 3x plus 5. This side can be simplified by making it 3x minus 1. To get down to the next level, my recommendation, remember in class when you're dealing with inequalities, let's get the variables on the left, because otherwise you're going to read it wrong. So let's move the variables to the left, move the constants to the right. This 3x comes over as a -3x minus 3x minus 3x to get a -6x. We're rid of this with a -5. -1 minus 5 is a -6. Now here's the kicker. When you divide both sides by a -6, the sign reverses. If you forget to do that, you've blown the whole problem. Okay, don't get so excited that you divided and flipped it, then you forgot to divide, right? -6x over -6 is x. -6 over -6 is 1. Our answer is x is greater than 1. Now in future lessons, in fact, this is section 3.3. In the next section, we're going to work more on interval notation, and we're going to work more on set builder notation. My goal in this lesson is to just get you starting to solve these inequalities correctly. All right? So distributing correctly, collecting like terms, flipping the sign when you need to. If you can get this part right, then in the next lesson we'll worry about graphing it, we'll worry about set builder notation, and we'll worry about interval notation. So what you should be focusing on here in this unit is refreshing yourself how to solve inequalities. Alright, so that's good for our first movie. I'm going to be doing several movies for section 3.3, but at least this gets you going, okay? And what would be a good idea before you looked at the next section of this handout is if you tried some of the problems on your own, and then you click onto my next movie and see if you've done it correctly. So kind of make it like you're in class working it, try it on your own, in your little book or on a piece of paper, and then look at my solution, watch the next movie.